Welcome to the Lion Life channel. Let's discuss some pros and cons for getting married in this episode. Lions, the women of today are not like those of the past. Your provision, protection, and procreation are not as valued anymore. Some women still value these qualities, but if they typically consider themselves to be a modern woman, more than likely they don't. You will have to vet any woman you want to deal with very carefully if marriage is on your mind. Now let's get into this. Let's talk about some of the advantages of being married. Number one, you get to have a woman in your life from day one all the way till you die or she dies. You get to share your life, have children together, and you go through the good and the bad together and stick it out with each other, which is what a marriage is supposed to be anyway. So that's a huge advantage right there. Advantage number two, you and your empress, your woman, your lady, will be in your child's life as a unit. So that child gets to see both parents growing up, and that will have a huge impact on his or her life. Now you can go see one of our previous episodes where we talk about how you should not be an absent father. Advantage number three, you learn how to communicate and resolve problems and have structure in your lives as you two work together over the years. Don't be like this lady here, Tia Mowry. She left her husband of 20 years. They have 2 kids together, and she left her husband, a good husband, according to her, so she can graduate her marriage. What the hell does graduate your marriage mean? This is not like getting a damn degree.
My marriage was a success.
Yeah.
I look at it as like a curriculum when you're in college or high school, right? You're learning, you're growing, you're evolving, you're creating. And I was able to create with Corey some beautiful, amazing children. And at the end of that curriculum, and at the end, there's a graduation, there's a celebration. So that's basically, how I'm looking at it now. And I feel like people when they look at marriage, that success equals longevity. But no, at the end of the day, it's, are they happy?
This lady here has no idea what it is to value her marriage, but something happened, she got bored, and her way out was to pick up and leave. Screw him, screw the children, and what's best for them. Lions, you've got to pick carefully and stand by your words, or just don't get married at all. Advantage number 4, you and your lady, you get to build wealth together. Now, modern ladies now believe that if she's working, then her money is her money, and your money is her money.
Oh, hell no!
Lions, don't partake in this nonsense. If you have a lady like this, you need to kick her to the curb, because you can't build wealth like that. Next advantage, you have some tax advantages offered by the government. For example, married couple will receive a higher tax deduction. You have estate planning benefits. You can have inheritance rights. You have employment benefits, such as you can have your family on your health insurance. You have Social Security, Medicare, and disability benefits as well. Let's move on to the disadvantages of marriage, and they are a lot. Number 1 disadvantage. When you meet the woman and you decide you want to get married her, and you're going to get her ring for her because you're going to follow this normal routine that society has set for you, she wants a ring. Number 1, she wants to be proposed to, and she wants an expensive ring, or she wants a very expensive wedding.
What's the lowest amount of money a guy should spend on a wedding ring for you?
Oh, it should be like for sure 30, 40K.
That's the standard? Would you have been a little upset if it was 10K?
Yeah, probably.
How do you come to that number?
Well, I was like trying to be polite, and you know how there's the typical, what is it? It's supposed to be like 3 months of their salary. Yeah. Like did what 3 months of his was, and then I lowered it a bit and left some cushion. So I was like, this would be sufficient.
This will put you in a debt. If you're not rich, you're going to start out in this marriage in debt. And if you have a woman who wants that off you, you need to kick her to the curb. Disadvantage number 2. Half of all marriages in the U.S. end in divorce. And women are the one initiating 80% of these divorces. Women like to claim on these social media spaces that men are abusing them and therefore That is why they are seeking divorces. Now, we're going to put a stop to that right now on this channel. Here we have research published that shows that women are the ones more likely to be committing violence against men. Now, you see this F to M letter here, that's female to male violence. You see here for Hispanics, whites, blacks, the female to male violence is generally higher across the board. Now, for the bidirectional violence, that's where you have men and women equally interacting in violent behavior with each other. You see, both partners are pretty much at fault, and this is a very high number here. This means that when you have violence in a relationship, you have both partners are partaking in the violence. It's not a man is always being violent to his lady and not the other way around. More than likely, it's the other way around. She is being violent to him because she knows he probably won't put his hand back on her. Okay, my lions? So be careful here. Now, let's get back to the disadvantage. Disadvantage number 3. Women are incentivized to get divorces. People these days don't want to or don't know how to work out differences and always seem to look for an easy way out. Okay? The divorce and child custody system is designed to be preferential to a woman and against a man. Women are automatically getting custody of the children, even in cases where she's obviously not the better parent, and will use that child against the man. Very important, man. That child will be used in terrible ways against you if the woman feels as if she's not getting what she wants. And if she was in love with you and you left her for whatever reason, whether you're married or not, and she hates you, that child will be used against you. This is why it's very important, man, to protect yourself. Do not have child with women who you haven't vet and who you haven't worked with a plan with being together for a long time. Stay away. Wrap up that anaconda. See? Now, a woman can get child support, spousal support, and more than half of your savings upon divorce. You can even be liable for another man's child if that child was living with you in the same house while you were married. Hence, if you believe in getting married, by my lions, vetting the woman is of utmost importance. This does not offer you any guarantee, but it does give you something more than if you didn't do any vetting. Now, another disadvantage of being married, you can have sexless marriages. Ladies, having access to the punani is not a when I feel like proposition. You hear me? Some women don't care about their husband's needs. All they care about is their needs. So they get what they want when they want, but if the husband wants anything, he gets nothing unless they're feeling the same way. That doesn't work in a marriage. That's not how a marriage is. Some of y'all don't believe that. Y'all want to call grape in a situation like this. Y'all should be put to the pastures, out to the pastures for these ridiculous ideas. A man, don't force your woman to do anything she doesn't want. If she's obviously keeping you in a sexless marriage, you need to take your feet outside and get away from that. Don't cheat on her, but you need to leave her. Now, next disadvantage. People like to let themselves go. Remember when you just got married, she was so beautiful and hot. Now, 5 years in, she has a baby or two. Sometimes she doesn't have any baby. And now she isn't as attractive as before. This in itself is not a reason to leave a marriage, but you must be aware of your appearance value to your relationship. The first time they saw you walking on the street and they approached you, why did they approach you? It was because of your appearance. 9 times out of 10, it was because of the way you look. So don't believe 5 years in, 10 years in, it's okay to just fall off down the cliff and don't keep yourself up. That's going to be another distraction you don't need in a marriage. There's a gym, there's YouTube exercise videos. We use them. Doesn't matter if you have a baby or no baby, keep your physical attractiveness up. And men like to see their ladies being as natural as possible and at least attempting to look decent for him. Now, we could go on and on about the disadvantages of marriage, but let's put an end to it right here, okay? Lions, a marriage is not a bad thing, but you cannot just stumble into it. even if you are in love. You understand me? Don't just stop with, oh, I love her, and she means the world to me, and therefore I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. No, my lions. You need to vet this lady accordingly. When you find a lady that you feel you want to hitch your horse to, here's what you need to do. Number one, like I said multiple times, vet the lady very carefully. There is no guarantee here as well. And that's why you need to choose a feminine lady who is willing to get on your program. You need to discuss all the things, discuss with her all your beliefs that are important to you before you even put a ring on that finger. Very important, my lion. So she needs to know what you are before you step into the marriage arena. Number two, get a prenup. If a lady is offended by this, move on. Prenups are also not a guarantee in anything, but they do help in many situations. So prenups are not only for rich people. You see me? So consider that if you have things you need to protect when you get into that marriage. Number three, both of you all need to go see a marriage counselor. This is very important. Do not get married unless you have had counseling, because a lot of folks living in this world have never seen marriage in person. All they see is TikTok videos and YouTube videos of people bashing marriage and doing this and saying that. So they have no idea, but they know they want to get married, which is another thing in itself. We need to do a video on that one in the future. But anyway, so my lions, see a marriage counselor, and preferably see one that is not a modern woman and one that is married. And most importantly, number four, learn to solve relationship problems. Don't run away when problems surfaces. Put 100% into resolving them, and you may become more flexible. Okay? Don't be a hard. I'm not going to bend on this. Certain things are bendable. Certain things are not bendable. But you need to at least make the effort to fix these problems when they arise. You understand me? And this right here is the reason why you're going to vet the lady before you put the ring on it. Lions, hold tight. Me gone again.